Amiskwaciwaskahikan, otherwise known as Edmonton, is a city deeply rooted in arts and culture. Home to diverse, passionate, emerging voices in music who deserve to be heard and appreciated. I'm VISSIA, and this is Dirt City Songbook.
Hi, I'm Gareth Gilliland. I make music in Edmonton, and I'm happy to be here.
Gareth Gilliland, thanks for sitting down with me.
My pleasure.
And I would like to know the story of Gareth Gilliland, and mostly musically, I guess. But I mean, I think it's been intertwined with your life for a long time. I'm gathering, but yeah, where did music kind of come into your life, and what were you like as a kid? Tell me all of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, my dad is a musician, and so is my mom. My dad was a trumpet player, and my mom was a tuba player, and so yeah, they were playing and teaching me piano when I was really, I mean, I don't know, able to sit up, I guess.
Before you could talk?
Yeah, well, maybe not. I actually have no idea, but maybe my memories don't go far back enough. But yeah, I was learning piano from a pretty young age, and like just hearing music, and you know, I remember hearing. I just have like my dad's practice scales and like patterns in my head still, you know what I mean? And it like, and I've included them in my practice actually, which is cool. But yeah, like it basically began with just hearing a lot and seeing a lot of music, because my dad's also a composer, so I'd go to his concerts and occasionally fall asleep and be inspired. And I kind of took a foray away from music though when I went to junior high and high school. Like I was more into theater.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, yeah.
I'm learning something new here.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So then I went to high school and kind of acted a bunch and acted in some fringe shows afterwards, but came around to music afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's all related in some
Totally.
way.
Just making things is pretty much the name of the game for me. Yeah.
Yeah, like being creative in any aspect.
Totally. Yeah. It seems to be like a staple of what makes me feel like I'm living an okay life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of like when you started writing your own music, like when did that start happening for you?
I think pretty much when I started playing guitar. So that was when I was like 8-ish. And I just had a really close friend, luckily, at the time when I started junior high, and when I had some sort of technique to like start expressing myself. And him and I lived close together, and he would just come over, and we would basically we wouldn't play songs, but we would play for like 6 or 7 hours and just improvise with each other. And so, you know, like songs have come out of that I still play today, but those moments were just like. It's like, this is what it's all about, you know? It's just playing with people and getting into some sort of flow state with somebody. That's kind of what it's about, yeah.
And doing that from like a pretty young age, it sounds like.
Yeah, like when I was like, I guess 11 was when I started. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. My parents always were like, what are you doing? Like, you know how long you were down there for? Like, and yeah, he's like my best friend still. So clearly that does something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
with
totally.
People. Yeah, and that's kind of like I associate music and improvising with like bringing people together and healing. So I think that must be from that as well. Yeah,
well, because that kind of you've started up kind of a new program at a cafe here too, right? Like you're part of starting up New Standards.
Totally. Yeah. New Standards. Yeah, definitely is definitely part of that vision. You know, of people just coming together and playing and trying to find a way to play with each other and just make things together in kind of an impromptu way.
Yeah, with like less of a like hard like agenda about it. It's just
like there's no structure to it. There can be if you want, but oftentimes it's just get up and start playing.
Have you ever had like any like anxiety around performing or playing?
Yeah, I had crippling stage fright. I kind of still do.
You really
Honestly.
do?
Yeah, like I just really liked doing the creative thing, like because that's what really inspired me was when I started, just like kind of improvising and playing with people and that process of doing that. But and I like sharing. I like sharing that with people because it has an impact on people when people see that.
Yeah.
When people see that kind of improv, but. Performing for me was, or still is, like it's just a lot,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just kind of had to figure out a way to deal with it, and now I kind of have like a regiment that I go through before.
Do you feel comfortable sharing a little bit about that at all, or?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it's totally like a clinical thing. Like it's just like I do
Oh.
some breathing exercises.
Oh, cool. Like
And
mindfulness, like.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I just breathe like by myself elsewhere for a sec, and then usually I have a cold glass of water.
Yeah.
And then I just, if I can, I listen to music that I like, and then I just go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's things that just make me think less, right? Like so
Yeah.
breathing and
Grounding.
And cold water especially. I guess it's kind of like cold water is now like what is that, like Pavlov's dog kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like now when I have cold water, it definitely just like it's kind of like, oh, I'm here now.
Yeah, it alerts you to like drop back into like your body and just like.
Yeah.
Because I've heard of even the whole like taking cold showers thing is like a similar thing, right?
Yeah, those
like,
are nice too. Yeah.
It's just like the physical, like, okay, it's time to get out of the head, now back into your body.
Totally.
Yeah.
It can be beer as well.
Yeah, it can be beer as well. Yeah, it's cold, right?
Yeah, it's cold.
Totally.
Yeah.
You smiled, we made up, waiting for your brother. And you said it's been about 6 months since last summer. And it brings to mind all of my love, all of my love. You tried to find all of my love, it's all he thinks of. But I wanna know how you got over. Was it hard not to let on your head? But your eyes were heat in cold weather. And what you said, my mind is made up, staring at your number. And your laugh's the reason. It sounds to me like summer. And it brings to mind all of my love, like all of my love. I'm terrified that all of my love is all he thinks of.
So, and you've been songwriting, and I don't know like your history with songwriting, but because like there's instrumental music and improv, but I think when it comes to lyrics, that kind of is a whole other thing as well. Um, but when did you start, writing lyrics and deciding you wanted to sing songs and?
I guess in the past 5 years, it's hard to pinpoint where it started happening, but like, or maybe a bit longer than that. I was in a band that was just kind of a party band, and it was like funk music. We were called Funk Velvet.
Okay,
And,
amazing.
Yeah, and we made like sort of just funny tunes, so we kind of like played around with words that way.
Yeah.
But in terms of like writing music that's the words were coming from like myself, it was definitely like in the past 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, yeah, like the process around that for me is a little bit interesting because like I don't gravitate toward lyrics initially, and or maybe that's not the right way of saying that, but I don't memorize words, but they have like a really great impact on me. Like one of my favorite songwriters is a Justin Vernon guy,
Yeah.
and I often don't know what the heck he's saying.
Yeah.
And when I do look at his lyrics, they're almost impenetrably like dense with words that I don't know and that have like, but like when I listen to it in totality with the way that he delivers it and the arrangement of the band around him, all of a sudden those words have like an incredible meaning to me. So that's kind of how I guess approach lyrics is my friend calls it applesaucing.
Applesaucing?
Where it's like I start with like sounds that I like and on a guitar or piano or whatever, and then I just sort of start mumbling to myself, which is what the applesaucing is.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like I start hearing words or phrases, and I think often that happens if I have written a good progression or a good melody or something like that. Then I can start hearing things more. It's funny though, like what happens, and then like once I have a part or a fragment of a lyric or something like that, then the game is to figure out how to expand upon that and what that means in context of everything else, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, it's like really like dusting off the dirt, like with a little brush. Like it's
totally,
kind of, a lot of times you're like uncovering. You're like, okay, I know there's something here, but like I can't see what it is yet.
Yeah, and sometimes sometimes it's revealed itself almost like at the end of the tune, or even if I've written it, the meaning of it changes over time, of course, or maybe like maybe I was unsure about the meaning of a certain passage of a tune, but it felt really good to me, and then as I play it more, and maybe as I play it with somebody else, or hear somebody else play it, then all of a sudden it starts to make sense,
Yeah.
But the initial kind of like that, like that feeling of like, I was like, oh man, that means something to me.
Yeah, if it touches you, really. Yeah.
In an identifiable way or something like that.
Yeah. It's kind of a mysterious way of songwriting.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
To me, especially.
Yeah, and just like trusting that it will reveal itself in time, I guess.
Yeah, and because I know that, like there's
because like
specific ways of songwriting too, like very.
For sure, if you have different goals in mind, I guess, for sure. But like, listening to your lyrics, like I'm always like, okay, this is a story. What is the story about? And like, but every time I like listen to it again, I kind of get like a different perspective on it or something, which is cool, I think. And do you find like when you write, like, does it feel kind of like visual to you as well at all, or like it's mostly like you're listening and so things come to you? But like, I don't know, sometimes songs like play like movies for me. I don't know if that's something that you experience. Or like
more like memories.
Like memories.
Yeah.
Definitely actually,
images.
That actually is really cool, because like your songs do feel like memories to me, I think.
Nice.
Like, or like someone's memory. Like it's like you're kind of like flipping through the photo albums or something. But like, I don't know. There's like a timeless quality, I think, to your lyrics.
Interesting.
To me. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's really cool.
They feel like there's like this kind of nostalgia kind of quality for me anyway. This is my interpretation.
Totally. Yeah, it's amazing. I released
Yeah.
that in quarantine, so I don't really have many people telling me things that they've heard about it. So
Yeah.
that's really cool, and I think I agree with that.
Yeah. And the EP is called Socialize.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did you come up with that title?
In kind of the same way that
Yeah.
these words in the songs start revealing the meaning to myself. I just during the really isolated part of the quarantine, I wasn't seeing many people, and I was thinking through some things, and all of a sudden, I was thinking about all of these double meaning kind of phrases and things like that, and that phrase appeared in my brain. Something about socialize is clearly something that we didn't do a lot of in the past little while. But then when you break it down into two specific words, socialize, it starts to the meaning, maybe it really changes with me, and I'm still trying to see what that is. But it's kind of it makes my brain do something.
Yeah.
And I like that. Yeah.
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 I know that you play with other people, you collaborate, you play as a guitar player for other people as well, but with your own music, do you have kind of, I don't know, a vision or aspirations for your own project at this point?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's funny, I think Socialize will become a band.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's we're working on that.
Oh, sweet.
Right now, and that's the goal for this music, is to start playing it with more people. And the goal for it also is to kind of follow the like you mentioned, that I play with a bunch of people, and I play with in different styles of music all the time, and I want that to kind of reveal itself in this music too, because the music that I released is kind of eclectic in itself as well, and you were mentioning the content of the lyrics to be kind of like a memory or something like that, and I feel like there is an opportunity to kind of do that with a band, auditorily, can explore that kind of fragmented memory kind of
as
stuff.
a collective though, kind of
collective,
uncovering it together.
And then of course the improvisation aspect of it, trying to bring it back to when I was in my basement with my best friend.
Yeah.
And try to do that on a stage, because I think it's good to see that.
Yeah.
On the factory floor, we settled down. We were on our way, picking up the bathroom tiles. And it feels like they're waiting for me. And it feels like they're waiting for me. 'Cause I try to fake it, and I try to lose. Quit messing around, where you been? Monoliths of steel on the the ocean floor. I think it's time to run. Just can't hold it anymore. And it feels like they're waiting for me. And it feels like they're waiting for me.
So you have grown up in Edmonton, right?
Yep.
For like you were
For the most part,
For
yeah.
the most part, yeah. Like born here, raised here, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like, is there something about Edmonton, or what is it about Edmonton that you find, creatively, kind of inspiring, or like, I don't know how that like works into your own creativity and like your life as a musician, I guess. I don't know.
I think there seems to be a pretty strong tradition of making music here. And although I definitely don't know all the facets of how it is, I'm always, there's always new people to get to know, and different pockets of different styles of music to get to know, which is so wonderful about Edmonton. But it feels like there's always like a strong sense of community in these pockets, and I think they kind of rise and fall kind of quickly, and like it's always moving, and the community is always changing in kind of a rapid way, and I think that's really interesting because I don't know, you can kind of jump in and try to connect with lots of different people, and for the most part, I've found it's pretty welcoming.
Yeah.
And that feels, that feeds your creativity. If you feel like, when I feel like I want to share something, I can share it, and not feel like I need to be a certain thing in a certain certain room or something like that to a certain somebody. It feels like there is a spot for folks.
Yeah. Yeah, I've sometimes found like, because there are so many of these pockets.
Yeah.
And sometimes like, you have these kind of, I guess, common threads for sure, because people kind of like cross over and are involved in multiple pockets. But that's something I've always thought about, though, is like how to make them even more connected sometimes.
Yeah. That's kind of the goal right now, honestly.
Yeah.
And you mentioned new standards, and that's what we're trying to do.
And maybe just say what New Standards is, just for anyone who wouldn't know.
So New Standards is a bi-weekly jam, I guess, and it happens at CAFA, which is right above Red Bike, and it's organized by myself and B-Boy Onanuga and Sean Kroll and Mikey Coopers, and we basically wanted to find a space like coming out of the pandemic where we could re-engage the community with each other and present the music that we like, and just make it like what I basically described, like make it a spot that people feel okay entering and expressing themselves in any way. So like we had the first one I guess last week, and it was amazing. Like the energy was great, and we had rappers out there and tap dancers out there and horn players and people who wanted to play jazz and people who just wanted to play like rock or hip hop. And that was wonderful, and we're trying to get that even further beyond that, I'm trying to get my roommate who juggles to go.
This is like the
He's
theater
awesome.
side of you coming
Yeah.
back, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like in that realm.
There's a space.
Yeah. Like people
Yeah.
could come and like perform a monologue, really.
I mean, yeah,
Do anything,
certainly,
spoken
like
word.
spoken word,
Yeah.
and you know, we had a comedian out there that didn't do comedy, but she sang. But I think it would be sick to,
Yeah.
you know what, like
Just
anybody,
yeah.
and yeah, everybody was really happy to see each other and to talk about making stuff again,
Yeah.
and that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that's really, I don't know if I guess it is an initiative, really, but I think that's like a really sweet initiative, like starting something like that and wanting to hold space for that, because it does take energy and work still to put it together. But then you see like the payoff of it, I guess, of just like all these
Yeah.
people in a room together, just like vibing.
Yeah, and it was inspired by the big Fam Jam that we were
Okay. In Toronto.
there together. Yeah, like
Yeah.
and like so we kind of shaped it that way, which was basically after they played the set, they just said that you can go up
Open
and
it up.
tap it out, like tap out people, and that's what we did, and
Perfect.
and it was excellent. Yeah.
Sweet. Well,
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna be checking that out.
Sweet. Yeah.
But for folks who want to keep tabs on what you're up to, what is the best way for people to follow along with you?
It would probably be Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my Instagram is it's Gareth G.
Yeah.
And Facebook is just under my name. And yeah, like I like you can find my music on Spotify and all the other streaming platforms just under my name, Gareth Gilliland. And yeah, like I'll be around.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for sitting down with me and for your time.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Thanks.
Super fun.